Previously on Youths of Dublin.
So me and Amy are just waiting for the bus now, having a little bit of a chat.
What do you think of Blonde Party now that they're not here? Yeah, well obviously, but I mean of like anything that happened, what they were talking about?
Well,
anything?
Chloe and Owen are cute as a couple, but sometimes I feel like it goes over the top.
I think Jack and Aiycham have two big personalities.
Same with Aiycham, I feel like kind of just bullshit his way through half his arguments. In the nicest way possible, I mean.
It just turns into like a verbal fight on who has the more statistics and who knows it better and who's smarter and who knows the bigger words and who can overall win the argument.
Nico really likes to do this whole puppet master, organising people thing.
Sure, I insult his shirt one time and he's talking about it for 3 weeks. Like, I've come to terms with Aiycham. I don't feel like Aiycham is sitting at home with a copybook and planning out all the is going to start. I feel like Aiycham just naturally goes to the lie before he goes to the truth.
When
They didn't really like each other.
I feel like Aiycham has a different Aiycham in his head, which is who he talks about. And then there's real life Aiycham, who we're all interacting with. But like, I mean, you know, but it's more about self-esteem than anything else. I feel like it's literally just that, like, he doesn't have the self-esteem to be proud of his own, like, proud in and of
he
himself.
tries to make it that he's like a really this person to be proud of himself.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, you know, like, deal with it. Like, I'm busy. I'm a busy person.
Yeah.
I'm always busy. And it's not because I'm manufacturing things, it's because I go out and get things to do.
Well, Jack thinks he knows everything about everyone, about Nico, about Amy, about Aiycham. I think there's like, no, I think he just doesn't know us and he can't judge us.
It must be nice though. You basically have a little family. You're not even finished your leaving cert.
I got pregnant at 15, and I had Kaden at 16.
I'm glad. I'm glad that I did it. Like that happened earlier. Cause I'm gonna be like still young with myself. I'm still gonna enjoy life.
Well, you're handling it very well.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really harder. I guess it would have been different if I wasn't with my parents.
Sure.
And if I was alone, I could know, like Lee wasn't, I don't know. Probably would have been different.
At the start I was scared, but then I was really excited and I wouldn't do any other way.
What do you think of Amy?
Amy? Well, Amy's my best friend.
But whenever you say something to Amy, she always has to argue with you because her way is better.
But sometimes she should be like smart. Like she's like too smart, like stupid smart. But no, I don't have a problem with her.
I met Amy in school. She's my best friend. I can tell her everything.
She seems really nice. I've had some good chats with her.
Yeah, she is nice.
Also, she's not putting up with Aiycham. She's nice.
The first time I met her, she was really nice, although she did feed me dog food. I don't know if she has a problem with me or not, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh my god.
Thanks. When me and Jack went to coffee, that was the most boring thing I ever did. Literally, I was just pretending I'm listening to him. I was just laughing and like moving my head, like yeah, agreeing with everything.
When I go out and I get a black coffee and I'm basically, they're just like, what's called, like waitresses that keep going over and being like, tea, sugar, milk? I'm like, no.
Hi.
So I'm minding my auntie's house today because she's away, so I've invited the group over for a tea party.
You know the week or?
Not really, no.
It's just very exciting.
Did you?
Just work.
I bought a suit actually.
Seven?
I bought a suit.
You dyed your hair grey.
Oh really? Dance?
What?
You're done your hair.
What did you tell them?
Cause they didn't notice.
Yeah, but I wanted them to notice.
Yeah, you can see the
there is a difference.
Yeah.
Owen dyed his hair grey, and I will be honest, I didn't notice until Chloe pointed it out, but that's because it was like the lighting wasn't the best in the room. But when it's in bright light, you can definitely see the difference.
It's just something I've been thinking about doing for a while, and just decided to go for it. Didn't really put too much thought in it.
Yeah. Is that like fully grey or like just the top of the grey?
Fully grey.
Like grey or
Oh
silver grey?
yeah, definitely at the back it's very noticeable. No, but Alexandra went there with Jack on Wednesday.
Oh, really?
Oh, she did? How did that go?
I know that a lot of said about me and you.
Really? Cool. Well, who told? Well, first of all, who told her?
Well, Alexandra, obviously.
Yeah, okay, fair. So.
I just kind of filled them in on some of the things that Jack was saying, because I just thought, you know, it's not really fair for them to believe he is as nice and innocent as he wants them to believe. He has said things about everyone in a very derogatory way, and I just updated them basically and told them. Him and Jack are intimidated by each other apparently, so that's why they keep having these debates, because it's like they have to like outdo each other. And apparently Aiycham, what was it?
Ostrich.
Like Aiycham has an Aiycham that he talks about in his head, and an Aiycham that's actually presented to everybody. So I don't know what that means, but that's what Jack said.
I feel like Aiycham has a different Aiycham in his head, which is who he talks about. And then there's real life Aiycham, who we're all interacting with.
Aiycham that's talking about my head.
Apparently, you talk about yourself like, I don't know, like there's like you have one version of yourself up here, and then there's the real version of you. That's what he was trying to say.
There's a Aiycham, there's a version of me in my head apparently, and there's a version of me that I'm presenting myself to other people. I'm like, what? Like, it makes no sense. Like, I'm not putting a show on for anyone. What you see is what you're getting, if you get me.
I think Jack just thinks Aiycham's a little thick sometimes, and then I don't know what his problem is with Nico.
He insults you every single, like you said there, that
every time.
He insults you every time. Like, you don't insult your friends every single like time you talk and things like that.
And then remember at the blonde party, I was like, I feel like you're closer to me than I feel closer to you.
Yeah, I know. Like he feels some kind of connection, and you're just like, what are you?
Yeah. Like I feel like he creates all these things in his head.
He says I'm like him in my own little world, but he's kind of fantasizing the perfect world.
No, well, I think he's projecting a little bit, because I think it's more like he's in his own little world, because he seems to be thinking insulting people is okay, and that we're apparently have this connection, as Chloe said, but it's not there.
He gave the reason why he insults people all the time is because his family likes to have the banter. Okay, I understand that your family has the banter, but that's not the same. Your family isn't everyone else's family kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, at least.
Yeah, some people have standards. You know what I mean?
All of a sudden you're trying to be flirty with them and stuff like that. Like, no, it doesn't. No, you don't do that. Okay, maybe with your family, okay, but like with people you don't know, no, the same rules don't apply.
That you show a bit of respect, like, you know, so don't get on other people's considerations.
Like,
sorry, yeah, no, but like, yeah.
But like, it's just this presumption that what he basically, it's just like his way or the highway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, he's not going to change. You can either put up with it.
That might just be the fact that the way he was brought up, kind of thing. So.
No, but it's this whole, like, it's this whole attitude that he has, as if like, how would you describe it? Like that he knows everything, and that everything he says is true.
Yeah.
Like he presents his opinion as a fact.
Yeah.
And that's.
I understand what you're talking about. Simply just from school, just from how he acted to me, towards me in school. Yeah. Like, I'd be talking. Yeah, you know, I think I told you this at the grand party program. Like me and Luke might be talking about something, and then he might join the conversation, and then everything he says is absolute. But me and Luke, we're wrong.
Yeah.
In pretty much everything we'd say. Like, yeah, I understand what you're talking. Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. Yeah.
I can't understand his problem with Nico, but Aiycham maybe.
I don't know if Jack dislikes Aiycham, but I think they have something between them.
Yeah, like, I think, I don't know, I think at the blonde party or something, but like when it was just like me and Jack there, and I took like a vitamin C pill, and he started going on about how apparently supplements doesn't work, and why would you take that? And I was just like, mind your own business.
But wasn't Nico like talking to you about his own pills that he takes?
But this is it. It's just like a double standard, as in he can do whatever. And this is what I said to Amy. It's kind of like he can be as rude as whatever, but you do one thing and he's like so rude. Do you know what he's like with me?
Wasn't he saying the anxiety tablets were just placebo? And he was like, "Were you reading the side effects? You know, it's just placebo. It won't work on you anymore."
Yeah. Like it's just so obnoxious and horrible.
Do you think he has a problem? Like,
not just one.
Just like from the way he's acting, like, you know, or do you think that he's just kind of like fantasizing that like he's not perfect, but he's close enough, not to it, but like you said, like everything like he does, it's acceptable.
It's acceptable and correct
for everyone. But let's say if we do something wrong, then he's like, you know, he judges us on that kind of basis.
Like, I think what he said about you is actually more true about himself, because then he has his own version of himself that he thinks, but it comes across very different, you know? Because I think he feels like he comes across like very, you know, like charismatic in a way maybe, and just like, you know? But then he just comes across as like a know-it-all and condescending and rude, and yeah. And then he wonders why people do the back.
Like I said to you before, he tries to analyse everything.
Oh, stop.
Pretty much, like say if you were to...
Every time I see him, it's like, oh, you're doing that because of this, and it's like, oh, your breathing is telling me a lot, and I'm like, off. And I'm like, get a life. Stop. Like, why are you so like focused on me?
Like, he's not studying psychology or anything. How does he know all this?
Well, exactly.
Today I'm going to get 2 tattoos against my mom's wishes. She doesn't want me to get them. The one on my arm is, how do you say it again? Just insert your voice right there saying it. The one on my arm is French for love prevails. And I basically got this tattoo because going through a really difficult time in my life, I kept telling myself that. And I got it tattooed on myself just to remember it whenever I go through a dark time. And I didn't get it in English because I thought people would think it's about me being gay. Like, you know, just normal people speak English. So I got it in French because most people don't know what that means in French. Even the second word. They think, because it doesn't mean wins, it means prevails. And I got lavender on my ankle, which is a very funny story. When I was a kid, there was a crazy person who lived up the road, crazy woman. We used to always run up and rob her lavender from the bush, and she'd always come out and give out to everyone else. And then one day she came out with her scissors, and I thought she was going to cut me, and I was like, ah! And she started cutting me pieces of lavender and giving it to me, and telling me that if I put them underneath my pillow, the fairies will come and give me good dreams and keep the badness away. And so then nearly every single day she'd go down and cut me lavender and tie it with a little bow and give it to me to put underneath my pillow. So I got it tattooed on my ankle for good luck and to keep the good fairies with me.
Next time on Youth of Dublin. I decided to invite everyone to Dunleary because I looked at the weather and it's supposed to be nice, and I just thought it'd be nice to walk on the pier and maybe get some ice cream.
Results are in a week. Stop.
I think my exams went pretty good, so hopefully I won't be surprised.
I'm sitting down and kind of waiting for Nico to try to like end the drama that's been going on, but he decides suddenly to just like act like he's never done anything wrong in his life and butter wouldn't melt in his mouth.
You start all the drama and then you're like, gasp, I can't believe she said that. Oh my god, how dare you? Who do you think you are? And I'm like, you start all of the fights.
Well, it's not like I wake up like, oh, what can I do today?
You totally do.
You're joking. How do you know what I do when I wake up?
What fights have I caused? What drama have I been causing? None.
I mean, you know what you're doing.
What am I doing?
You know what you're doing.